A very good day to you people. My name is Mohit, and guys, the topic of the day will be insomnia, mostly mispronounced as insomnia, but it's actually insomnia. And let's cut the chase, let's call it sleeplessness or lack of sleep or poor sleep. Okay, some people may initiate the sleep early, but they cannot sustain it, and let's say at around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they'll get up and they will not be able to go to sleep thereafter. So I have combined a lot of stuff, a lot of information, and a lot of experience all together, and I'm gonna give out to you a lot of secrets, a lot of tips that I have acquired from different sources, from medical professionals, from many books, and most of all, my life's experience. Okay, as a 16-year-old, a teenager, or maybe I was even younger, I don't really remember, maybe I was 14, 15. I was always fond of reading, and there were two books I stumbled upon. Those books were actually published in 1936 or thereabouts. But having read the first book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I could not stop myself from going through all the books written by Dale Carnegie. Who is Dale Carnegie? He is, he's a person who talks about practical solutions to common problems. Like worrying is a habit, he says. Happiness is not a matter of externals, it's a matter of internals. Okay, so as a 14, 15, 16-year-old, I really cannot remember clearly what my age was. But I was a teenager, that much I can tell you, probably 15, 16. And from my father's collection of books, I found these two books, How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I realized that I had come into this world not a very popular person, and also not a very by default a relaxed person, and I wanted to change that. And knowledge is power. I wanted to empower myself with the right knowledge. So yes, I read How to Win Friends and Influence People, which actually made my friends not double, not triple, not quadruple, but go up as much as maybe 100 times within a very short period of time. But as I said, the day is dedicated to insomnia, sleeplessness, poor sleep, lack of sleep, etc., etc. Now, with the COVID-19 times on, with the SARS-CoV-2 times on, and especially in India, and you know how bad the situation is right now, and I'm sure the future is not very bright in terms of emotional health for most people. They're going to suffer from blood pressure, panic attacks, anxiety issues, depression issues, sleep issues. So I thought this is the perfect time to speak about this book that actually changed my life. And there was certain other information that I got from other sources, and one was my doctor. His name is Ashish Pathak, and I'm not very happy taking his name, but I'm not going to disclose why. But I have had some very fruitful conversations with him. One of the conversations was, as I was early in my youth, again suffering from a little bit of insomnia, I spoke to him. So the first thing he told me is, Mr. Mohit, do not go to the bed in the afternoon for anything. The bed is not meant to take a nap in the afternoon. You're not meant to lie down on it in the afternoon. It's meant only for sex and sleep, and only at the right time. So this time for sleeping is after 10 o'clock, 10:30 max. Okay, so do not use it to rest or take a nap in the afternoon, especially if you're struggling to initiate sleep later in the day, later in the evening. That's one thing that has stayed with me, and I always keep repeating it to people, that this is what you ought to do. Don't go to the bed to take a rest. Okay, let the fatigue build up, let the tiredness get into some kind of an exertion, and let it get into a state of fatigue if it gets into a state of fatigue, because that state of fatigue is very important. If you're feeling fresh, if you're not burnt of enough energy and you're just storing energy, and then it's difficult to initiate sleep. Physical exertion is the primary fuel to initiate the state of sleep. Okay, now there's one thing I picked up from this book, which was that you sleep at the same time and get up at the same time. So as an 18-year-old, when I implemented these things, I think I was 17 or 18. I had read the book earlier, but I implemented the sleep part a little later, the insomnia part a little later, and I was probably 17, 18 then. Okay, so the thing was that you sleep and get up at the same time. So I remember I would sleep at 9:25, and by 9:30 I would be conked off, sleeping like a baby. Okay, and the chief reason was that I used to exercise a lot during the day, especially after getting up. I used to, as a teenager, I used to play a lot of badminton, a lot of cricket. Okay, I used to jog a lot, and yep, and then during the day I wouldn't go to the bed, I wouldn't take rest. Okay, the day was meant to work or read. I was a student. Okay, but it was not meant to rest. So if you are finding it difficult to sleep at night, to initiate the sleep, the process, please do not hit the bed during the day. Now, through this book, the Dale Carnegie book, and other books, there was a flash book I remember, and the title of the book was just Sleep. Okay, I realized that the bedding is very important. You have to invest a lot on your bed. The bed should not be hard enough or soft enough. Your pillow should give you the right kind of comfort. If you are using anything which is like anything to cover yourself, then it should give you the right temperature, not too much, not too less. Ideally, we see that anywhere between 15 degrees centigrade to 20 degrees centigrade is the ideal temperature for you to go to sleep. So the ideal bedding, your bed should not be too narrow, so that part of you is going outside the bed. Maybe your feet are hanging out, or maybe your arms are hanging out. That should not be the case. Okay, so invest heavily on your bed. And there's one more thing I realized, that when you are going to the bed, the time is important. Also is important is that no light, no street light should filter inside the room. And how are you going to stop that? This is what Dr. Khadarwali also says. Use thick curtains, he says. Use thick dark curtains, not the light flimsy curtains. The thick light, dark curtains. So the more darkness, the easier for you, it is for you to sleep. At the same time, you cannot compromise on ventilation. So there should be enough fresh air, but at the same time, there should be enough darkness. Okay. The clothes these are very small things that we ignore. The clothes that you wear should not be very tight. They should be on the looser side, ideally cotton, so that there is no irritation, no friction. Cool, the clothes should be cool. Okay, so your clothing, pajama kurta, probably is one of the best ways to go to bed. Then let's talk about the meal just before going to sleep. The ideal time to go to sleep is 10, because if you go to 10, it's very likely that if you sleep early, it's very likely that you're going to wake up at 4 or thereabouts, which is Brahma Muhurat or Amrit Bela, and which is the best time to get up, because also between 10 and 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. you're likely to heal the best. Okay, so if you have a health problem and you're looking for healing, maybe you have blood pressure. Blood pressure responds very well to a good night's sleep. So ideal time is 10. So if you're going to sleep at 10, You're going to make sure that you're going to eat by sunset. If not, then eat by 8 maximum. Alright? So if you're going to eat by 8, you can go to bed by 10 p.m. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to have issues with acid reflux. Okay. Give me a sec. Okay. So you will have your last meal of the day by, let's say, maximum 8 p.m. so that you can be in the bed by 10 in a dark room. At 10 o'clock, the melatonin, which is a natural hormone, which peaks at around 10 p.m. So it becomes a little difficult to initiate sleep after 10. So you take advantage of the fact that the melatonin, which is released in darkness, is a hormone naturally produced by the body, will help you go to sleep at around the same time, which is 10 p.m., which is the time for healing as well. Okay, so do that. And if you are coming from work and if it's actually hot and sultry and you're feeling all sweaty and sticky, it's a great idea to have a warm bath or a cold bath depending on the temperature, okay, before you go to sleep. So feeling clean and non-sultry, non-humid is very important, and the temperature, as I said, is very important. So 15 degrees centigrade to 20 degrees centigrade is a very good temperature. Celsius or centigrade, call it whatever, they are interchangeably used for the same meaning. They mean the same, they are synonyms. Okay, and in the end, see, you need to realize one thing. Why does insomnia happen? Basically, worry, concerns, fears, depression, anxiety. And all of you may not be too blessed to have been born with the default state of happiness. Happiness is a habit, worry is a habit. And so I'll tell you something. I tell this to many people. So what I'm going to tell you, the information that I'm going to tell you, is not only going to help you with insomnia, it's also going to help you counteract your anxiety and depression triggers. How does it happen? See, set a timetable for everything in life. So just as you have a time for sleeping, you should have a time for getting up. Then maybe the next 1 hour dedicated to exercise, jogging, going to the gym, doing yoga, weightlifting, or whatever suits you best. Swimming, cycling, the list is endless. Okay, a time for breakfast, a time for study, a time for going to the office, a time for XYZ, a time for this, a time for that. But everything should be put on, use the pen and paper, make it like a timetable and adhere to it like crazy. So when you have a timetable, a time for everything in life, what's going to happen? I will not take you into the modus operandi, but you will realize that your worries and your concerns and your anxieties and even the depression, the feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, they all start coming down, and in turn it's going to cascade into a better sleep. Okay. Lastly, what I wish to tell you is that as a 17-year-old, probably I was just 17. Remember, I was just 17. I pushed all these habits into my life. So I would get up at a specific time, go to sleep at a specific time. But since I was very young at that time, I would sleep 8 hours. Now probably I would sleep only 6 hours. And that happens. As you age, you sleep lesser. And that's natural. Okay, but I did that routine for 5 months and 10 days. I wish I had never left that routine actually. I tell you, I saw an improvement in all spheres of life, in all aspects of life. So I had, as I said, 10 times the friend that I had earlier. I was so popular. I was sleeping within 5 minutes. I was always fresh. It would reflect on my stamina, my strength, my badminton skills, on my cricket skills, on my study skills, and I was a much improved version of myself. And the only thing that I did was I had read this book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, because it has, I should say Dale Carnegie is such a wonderful person. Things that he has probably written about 100 years ago still hold good. Truth is something that stays the same, whether it's after 50 years or 100 years, it doesn't matter. You can read the book again and again. You should read the book again and again, maybe once in a month or maybe once in a week, so that you don't lose the values, the concepts. It's very easy to lose the concepts if you stay away from those concepts. You need to refresh your memory. You got to reset your memory back, otherwise you'll go back to your old ways. That shouldn't happen. So just setting a timetable for your sleep, the right temperature, the right clothes. And before I wind up, guys, I know the video may have become very long by now. Just want to tell you, after you've had dinner, switch off the routers. Now this is coming from Dr. Khader Wali. Any wireless appliance, so your D-Link, your TP links, just switch it off. Okay? Your Netgears, switch it off. Your TVs, your laptops, switch it off. Your mobiles, don't go into the airplane mode. Ideally, switch it off. And so there is no wireless connection anywhere in the house. Dim in the lights. Really, really dim in the lights, so that you can help the melatonin go up fast and easy, so that it's peaking, naturally it's peaking at around 10. Take advantage of that. The longer you prolong the sleep after 10, the more difficult it becomes for you to initiate sleep. Okay? And it's very, very important that you're tired enough. You are probably flirting with exhaustion. So if you are a poor sleeper, it's a great idea to have your dinner, switch off all your routers and laptops, TVs, whatever, mobiles, keep the mobile away, go for a 1 hour walk, half an hour walk, 45 minutes walk. See your comfort level. Okay, 50 years back we were walking 18 kilometers on an average. Now we don't even walk 300, 600 meters in a day. It's really sad, it's really bad. Okay, but walk for at least half an hour to 1 hour before going to sleep. I'm telling you, these things seemingly are very simple, but they help a lot. And then maybe come from the walk all hot and sweaty and just enter the bath. So invest on the bathroom, invest on the tiles, invest on the showers. Okay, and the atmosphere of the bathroom is also very important. You may have a cold or a hot bath, really wouldn't matter a lot. Okay, and then come back. Ideally go to sleep by 10, so that you can get up at Brahma Muhurat, Amrit Bela, which is 4, and then take advantage of the early morning serenity, early morning calmness, coolness, and you can do so much. I love the early morning part, the 4, 5, 6 a.m.s. I just love that part. And this is what all billionaires, millionaires do. They have the same habit of going to bed early and getting up early. So guys, I hope this information was useful to you. You have a very good day. Bye bye. Peace.